You're about to hear excerpts from Napoleon Hill's Magic Ladder to Success. Though not everything in this book may be true, one thing is for certain. The real value of this book is not in its own pages, but in your own reaction to what you read. The main purpose of the Law of Success philosophy is to stimulate the imaginative faculties of the brain so they will readily create new and usable ideas for any emergency in life. And anyone who can create great ideas, as readers of this book tend to do, will gather great power. As millions before you will testify, this book will cause important ideas to flash into your mind. Have a utensil and paper ready, or a recording device, so that you are ready. Without further ado, let's begin part 4 of Napoleon Hill's Magic Ladder to Success. The Mastermind to Creating a Mighty Third. We're now ready to look at another way we can gather, classify, and organize the useful knowledge that is essential for success. This is the alliance of two minds, which creates a third. We call that the mastermind. We first heard the term mastermind from one of the richest and most powerful men in history, Andrew Carnegie. It's an abstract principle that deals with the effect of one mind upon other minds. I am among those who believe that the mind is made up of the same energy that fills the universe. But since all minds are not the same, some minds clash the moment they come in contact with each other because there are varying degrees of affinity and antagonism. Some minds are so naturally adapted to each other that love at first sight is the inevitable outcome of the contact. Who has not known such an experience? In other cases, minds are so antagonistic that violent mutual dislike shows itself at first meeting. These results occur without a word being spoken and without the slightest signs of any of the usual reasons for love and hate. Whatever the reason, there seems to be an actual chemical reaction, and the resulting vibrations have either a pleasant or an unpleasant effect. The meeting of two minds is an effect that is obvious to even the casual observer. This effect must have a cause like any other, and it resides in the new field created by the meeting, where the two minds are rearranging themselves. Both states of mind are different from what they were prior to their meeting. That this reaction takes place in every instance is a known fact, which gives us a starting point from which we may show what is meant by the term mastermind. A mastermind may be created through the bringing together or blending in a spirit of perfect harmony of two or more minds. Out of this harmonious blending, the chemistry of the mind creates a third mind, which may be appropriated and used by one or all of the individual minds. This mastermind will remain available as long as the friendly, harmonious alliance between the individual minds exists. It will disintegrate and all evidence of its existence disappear the moment the friendly alliance is broken. This principle of mind chemistry is the basis and cause of practically all the incidents of soulmates meeting and eternal triangles formed. Divorce courts, tabloids, and scandal aside, these dramatic situations are in fact evidence of one of the greatest of nature's laws. The entire civilized world knows that the first 2 or 3 years of marriage are often marked by much disagreement of a more or less petty nature. These are the years of adjustment. If the marriage survives them, it is more than apt to become a permanent alliance. These facts no experienced married person will deny. Again, we see the effect without understanding the cause. While there are other contributing causes, this period of adjustment during the early years of marriage takes place because the chemistry of the two minds is slow in blending harmoniously. When first they meet, the mental energies of the two minds are often neither extremely friendly nor antagonistic. Through constant association, they adapt themselves, gradually achieving harmony, except in the rare cases where open hostility exists. It is well-known fact that after a man and woman have lived together for 10 to 15 years, they become practically indispensable to each other, even though there may not be the slightest evidence of the state of mind called love. Moreover, this association and sexual relationship not only develops a natural affinity between the two minds, it actually causes the two people to take on a similar facial expression and to closely resemble each other in many other marked ways. Any competent analyst of human nature can easily go into a crowd of strange people and pick out the wife after having been introduced to her husband. The expression of the eyes, the contour of the faces, and the tone of the voices of the people who have long been associated in marriage become similar to a marked degree. Any experienced public speaker may quickly interpret the manner in which statements from the podium are accepted by the audience. So powerful is the effect of the chemistry of the human mind. Antagonism in the mind of but one person in an audience of 1,000 may be readily detected by the speaker who has learned how to feel and register the effects of antagonism. Moreover, the public speaker can make these interpretations without observing, or in any manner being influenced by, the expressions on the faces of those in the audience. An audience may cause such a speaker to rise to great heights of oratory or heckle the speaker into failure without making a sound or denoting a single facial expression. All master salespeople recognize the moment the psychological time for closing has arrived, not by what the prospective buyer says, but from the effect of mind chemistry as interpreted or felt. Words often belie the intentions of those speaking them, but a correct interpretation of the chemistry of the mind leaves no loophole for such a possibility. Everyone practiced at sales knows that the majority of buyers have a habit of affecting a negative attitude almost to the very climax of a sale. Every able lawyer has developed a sixth sense in order to feel his or her way through the most artfully selected words of the clever witness who is lying. Such a lawyer will correctly interpret that which is in the mind of the witness through the chemistry of the mind. Many lawyers have developed this ability without knowing the real source of it. They possess the technique without the scientific understanding upon which it is based. Many salespeople have done the same thing. One who is gifted in the art of correctly interpreting the chemistry of the minds of others may, figuratively speaking, walk in at the front door of the mansion of a given mind and leisurely explore the entire building, denoting all its details, walking out again with a complete picture of the interior of the mental building without the owner of the building knowing that he has entertained a visitor. That's the principle of mind chemistry. We have proven, with the aid of the reader's own everyday experiences and observations, that the moment two minds come within close range of each other, a noticeable mental change takes place in both. Sometimes the change registers as antagonism, and at other times as friendliness. Every mind has what might be termed an electric field. The nature of this field varies, depending upon the mood of the individual mind and upon the nature of the chemistry of the mind creating the electric field. It is believed by this author that the normal or natural condition of the chemistry of any individual mind is the combined result of physical heredity and the nature of the thoughts that have dominated that mind. Every mind is continuously changing. To the extent that the individual's philosophy and general habits of thought change the chemistry of his or her mind. These principles the author believes to be true, that any individual may voluntarily change the chemistry of his or her mind so that it will either attract or repel all with whom it comes in contact is a known fact. To put it another way, anyone may assume a mental attitude that will attract and please others or repel and antagonize them, and this without the aid of words or facial expression, or other form of bodily movement or demeanor. Go back now to the definition of a mastermind: a mind that grows out of the blending and coordination of two or more minds in a spirit of perfect harmony, and you will catch the full significance of the word harmony as it is here used. Two minds will not blend, nor can they be coordinated unless the element of perfect harmony is present. Therein lies the secret of success or failure for practically all businesses and social partnerships. Every sales manager and every military commander and every leader in another walk of life understands the necessity of esprit de corps, a spirit of common understanding and cooperation, and the attainment of success. This mass spirit of harmony of purpose is obtained through discipline, voluntary or forced. The nature of this discipline must be such that the individual minds become blended into a mastermind, by which is meant that the chemistry of the individual minds is modified in such a manner that these minds blend and function as one. The methods through which this blending process takes place are as numerous as are the individuals engaged in the various forms of leadership. Every leader has his or her own method of coordinating the minds of the followers. One will use force, another uses persuasion. One will play upon the fear of penalties, while another plays upon rewards in order to reduce the individual's minds of given groups of people to where they may be blended into a unified mind. The student will not have to search deeply into history of statesmanship, politics, business, or finance in order to discover the technique employed by the leaders in these fields in the process of blending the minds of individuals into a harmonious single mind. The really great leaders of the world, however, seem to have been provided by nature with such a favorable mind chemistry that it acts as a nucleus of attraction for other minds. Napoleon was a notable example of a man possessing a type of mind so magnetic that it had a very decided tendency to attract all minds with which it came in contact. Soldiers followed Napoleon to certain death without flinching because of the impelling or attracting nature of his personality, and that personality was nothing more or less than the chemistry of his mind. No group of minds can be blended into a mastermind if one of the individuals of that group possess an extremely negative, repellent mind. The negative and positive minds will not blend in the sense here described as a mastermind. Lack of knowledge of this fact has brought many an otherwise able leader to defeat. Any leader who understands this principle of mind chemistry may temporarily blend the minds of practically any group of people so that they will represent a mass mind, but the composition will disintegrate almost the very moment the leader's presence is removed from the group. The most successful life insurance sales organizations and other sales forces meet once a week or more often for the purpose of merging the individual minds into a mastermind that will, for a limited number of days, serve as a stimulus to the individual minds. It may be true, and generally is true, that the leaders of these groups do not understand what actually takes place in these meetings, which are usually given over to talks by the leader and other members of the group. While that is going on, the minds of the individuals are contacting and recharging one another. The brain of a human being may be compared to an electric battery, in that it will become exhausted or run down, causing the owner of it to feel despondent, discouraged, and lacking in energy. Who is so fortunate as never to have had such a feeling? When in this depleted condition, the human brain must be recharged, and the manner in which this is done is through contact with a moral, vital mind or minds. The great leaders understand the necessity of this recharging process, and they understand how to accomplish it. This knowledge is the main feature that distinguishes a leader from a follower. Fortunate is the person who understands this principle sufficiently well to keep his or her brain vitalized or recharged by periodically contacting it with a more vital mind. Sexual contact is one of the most effective of the stimuli through which a mind may be recharged, provided the contact is intelligently made between two people who have genuine affection for each other. Any other sort of sexual relationship is a devitalizer of the mind. At this point, it seems appropriate to call attention to the fact that all of the great leaders, whatever their walks of life, have been and are people of highly sexed natures. The word sex is a decent word. You'll find it in all the dictionaries. There is a growing tendency on the part of the best informed physicians and other health practitioners to accept the theory that all diseases begin when the brain of the individual is in a depleted or devitalized state. Stated in another way, it is known fact that a person has a perfectly vitalized brain is practically, if not entirely, immune from all manner of disease. Every intelligent health practitioner of whatever school or type knows that nature or the mind cures disease in every instance where a cure is effective. Medicines, faith, laying on hands, chiropractic, osteopathy, and all other forms of outside stimulant are nothing more than artificial aids to nature. To state it correctly, they are mere methods of setting the chemistry of the mind into motion so that it readjusts the cells and tissues of the body, revitalizes the brain, and otherwise causes the human machine to function normally. The most orthodox practitioner should admit the truth of this statement. What then may be the possibilities of the future in the field of mind chemistry? Through the principle of the harmonious blending of minds, perfect health may be enjoyed. Through the aid of this same principle, sufficient power may also be developed to solve the problems of economic necessity that constantly press upon every individual. We may judge the future possibilities of mind chemistry by taking inventory of its past achievements, keeping in mind the fact that these achievements have been largely the result of accidental discovery and of chance groupings of minds. Is it not strange that nowhere in history do we find a record of one great man who attained his greatness through deceit, trickery, and by double-crossing his business associates? We are approaching the time when the professoriate of the universities will teach mind chemistry the same as other subjects are now taught. Meanwhile, study and experimentation in connection with this subject open vistas of possibility for the individual student. Hey, Tommy T here. I hope you appreciated and enjoyed part 4 of Napoleon Hill's Magic Ladder to Success, and you understand a lot more about the mastermind and how when you come in harmony at sales meetings, at lectures, at mastermind events, and events in general, right? When you go in harmony and you connect with someone, you listen to them compassionately, you receive them as a whole, you get connected in this mastermind, and really it exponentializes so that you can collaborate, each other's sources so that you get to better achievements. At least that's part of the way that I received it. I think that you will continue enjoying this book if you continue on. And also, I just wanted to say, if you want to connect with me, I've got that down below. Otherwise, if you liked it, feel free to subscribe or just continue on to the next one right now. I really appreciate you, and I hope you have an awesome day.